Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Rule the Waves as Russia. This will be episode number 12. So in the previous episode we designed a new dreadnought, and now it's time to think about designing a new light cruiser. Now we don't have the money for it, but I really think it's necessary. Also, another thing, the derp has been asking me for a while, and I think it's interesting to actually create a ship picture. So right now we have the top-down view, which is what we'll view in the game. However, there is also a picture option, a side view picture that you can create. So we'll just take the Frampt off here. We'll generate a picture. And this is what the top-down view is. But we can actually create, I think, these very primitive ships, I like to give them a ram bow and a counter stern. That's going to have them sloping. It's the opposite of the flared, the typical style you'll see on more modern ships. So let's do that. You'll generate, you can see this is the reverse of what you typically will see. As we get later, you'll get something more like this. That's probably what we're more used to. Anyway, for now I kind of like this this really ironclad looking design. Okay, so we have our two smokestacks, which now it doesn't look quite right. Looks like we have a bit of a superstructure here. So this, you can adjust the height. Okay, so I have to generate again? Okay, I see. I think we should have a short smokestack for this one because it looks pretty low profile. And then to actually add the interesting stuff, you have to go over here and we have to add masts or whatever. We'll add this, sure, why not? It looks like that would be over here. Something like this. And maybe we have something else, some other configurations going on here. Maybe that is... Okay, so we actually can do accessories. We can get some windows. Not that we would use windows, but we'll pretend that we use windows. Get a few of those over here as well. There we go, we have a few portholes. And yeah, we need some kind of superstructure that's long and would double up. What kind of thing? Yeah, maybe something like this. That looks about right. We'll just put that right there. And maybe, let's see, if I put it down, does it actually hide behind the guns or not? It does. Okay, that's even better. I want it to slide a little bit further this way though. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's our ship. There's what the Evstafi class ships look like. So we'll use this and exit. We can add decks on top and stuff like that. You can actually like put a little thing in there. I guess we'll leave that because why not? I'm not going to mess around with this, the rest of this though. Just shows you that this is available, and the derp has been asking me for a while to just point it out. So let's use an exit, and then I think we can just select the picture. It's not appearing here, but you can select this picture for all of these guys. So I want all of them to have this same picture, which is kind of cool. So the Spera, yeah, they're all going to use this. Good. So the Evstafi class immediately used all of those. So now when we want to see a picture of it, it looks like this. And that's kind of nice. So this is what our built-in, our casemates are. All right, but very good. If I might even maybe I'll set up like a Dropbox, and people, if they want to design the different cruisers and battleships, they can do it and send it to me. I mean, I'm looking at you, the derp. This was what you wanted. So, but if anybody else wants to design these, I'll just copy your designs. You can make them as fancy or as simple as you want. I don't know if there's any interest in that. Just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I don't ever look at those pictures. It is nice for the role-playing purposes. You get more. I think you get a better feel for what your ship looks like, but other than that, I don't use that because I'm always looking from the top down. That's what the Admiral does, right? The individual captains like to see the side of their ship and all that, but I'm just looking top down, big strategy, big picture. Okay, so that being said, let's go on. What do we have next? We have... I guess we have to end the turn. Let's see. I also have gotten all the names up from the new requests. So now at this point, if you are missing a name, it is my fault and you have to remind me again. So if you don't see your name here, By the way, I'm gonna have someone get a new Vesta class because I hate this name. Velikai Knyaz Konstantin. It's just too long, you know? Let's keep these a little shorter. Yeah, okay, so let's go on. Fire control, always nice. Accuracy improvement. Ooh. Torpedo protection 1, you know, 1 month after we made our new designs. And we sunk a French submarine. Heavy cruiser was interned. And a German heavy cruiser was sunk. And we kind of cheer when the Germans lose a ship because we may one day have to fight the Germans, and every ship less that they have is better for us. Okay, a raid on enemy shipping. Battle size is 1. So I think that means it's small, and the victory points also indicate small. I'm going to decline this. I think we have the victory points to decline. Another raid on enemy shipping. This one's 65. I don't know. I'll have to look up what battle size means. This is in the English Channel, pretty far away from any friendly ports. Yeah, I mean, even though we declined those two, we still have a victory point edge because we're blockading. The French will probably collapse soon. We're obviously in no danger. Our unrest is like completely wide open. The Russian people are rallying behind us. And why not? Admiral Tortuga, I mean, right? Oh, well, this is fantastic. Just in time because our budget was actually pretty severely negative. We had a huge deficit. I don't think we're going to let them off lightly. I've heard in this new patch that this doesn't work as often. There it is. Okay, so it looks like we're at peace now. Does it give us like an opportunity to take territory? No, it was minor territory, so we didn't actually gain anything from that. Well, that is a bummer. That is indeed a bummer. Okay, well, we're going to have to move everyone who's not in Northeast Asia and Northern Europe back to where they belong. So you, Sabo, please return. Everyone's back to active. Okay, good. So I don't have to set that. Let's move you back home to Northeast Asia. And let's move, well, the Flora. We need a little bit of time before we get her back. But the rest of these guys, let's have you guys move back to Northern Europe. Which is also going to decrease the maintenance cost on them. So I'm actually really surprised that peace happened that quickly. I figured it would go another 6 months or so. Okay, well, now let's decrease our cost because it does not help much, does it? Did not save very much. But we need every little penny, so we can go 8 more months, and then... No, we can't. We can go 7 more months, and then we're going to have to start pausing some of the construction. And it looks like some of these will complete before that time. Also a good time for us to start updating all of our ships. No, not map. That was a mistake. Let's sort by type. Yeah, so our I think every time you end a war, is the right time to upgrade your minesweepers. So we will rebuild these the same way we always do, which is by doing absolutely nothing to them. And now we will get all our minesweepers to retrofit to that. Very good. Now we have the Flora 1905 version. I guess we'll get everyone up to the 1905 version, and I mean, it's only 1906, 1907. I can't remember what the difference was between the two, but it probably wasn't much. But I think I'll first wait for a little bit more funds to come rolling back in. So, we're speeding along. Peace again. I'm surprised. That was a very short war. At least, especially compared to what I was expecting. Oh, wow, we have oil firing already. And does Russia have access to oil? Oh man, people are stealing industrial secrets from us. With our poor education, they're still stealing stuff. Let me just design a ship real fast, a fake ship. let me see if it gives us oil. Yep, we actually have the ability to use oil. All right, well, I'm not actually going to take this, although it doesn't look... Oh, I really don't like having... See, this wouldn't be bad. Although the heavy cruisers we have are the ones that are performing the best. So, in my opinion, we don't need a heavy cruiser. And I don't think we're allowed to do guns and turrets. Right? Yeah, so now we can't do guns and turrets because they're too small caliber. I mean, we're just going to close that one. Okay, Flora is now back. Move her back home to Northern Europe. Yep, good. All right, and one more turn before we upgrade our dock. I know that it's going to cost money, but I feel like this is where our main advantage is coming from so far, is being able to build bigger dock size. Okay, they've all finished their reconstruction. I get it. Maybe they need a button where, you know, it's like okay to all. Okay, they've had some problems. We had a breakthrough in torpedoes, though. Increase in shell damage. Yeah, that was a lot. So we will also... I saw that the Japanese Navy was rebuilding one of their battleships. We should also rebuild ours. Okay, 1904 is not bad. That would last us another 7 years, so actually I'm going to be okay with that. 1904 for these is also still fine. And now the Floras. Yeah, so let's sort by type first, but class next. And we can see we have a whole bunch of these that we need to rebuild to the 1905 version. So we went up from 9.5 to basically 10.1, so our deficit has increased. We're also going to spend a bit more money to increase our dock size. But if I'm not mistaken, I think our dock size is probably pretty good compared to everyone else. Yeah, so we're a little bit higher than Germany, behind Austria-Hungary, which is weird. Just barely behind Great Britain, equal with France, ahead of Japan, and ahead of... Yeah, so the only people who are ahead of us are Great Britain and Austria-Hungary, which is extremely weird. Why are we saying Austria-Hungary is the leader? But that's how it is. And then let's also take a quick look at how everybody in the world is doing right now. So we have 5 dreadnoughts being built, and we are... Actually, we're leading the way in terms of tonnage. But we have no battle cruisers. I like to build my battle cruisers as an intermediate between 2 different dreadnought designs, as in... I treat my battle cruisers as a dreadnought for the purposes of building a new ship. Basically, it moves in waves, right? You get budget, and then you build a new design, and it takes all of your budget. Well, when I have that wave of income, I'll either spend it on a dreadnought, or I'll spend it on a battle cruiser. Whereas these guys, it looks like they're distributing. Like USA has built 1 dreadnought, which is only 19,000 tons, and then they have 4 battle cruisers building. So they've diverted some of their funds to dreadnought, some of them to battle cruiser. I don't like to do that. Germany really behind the times, and as is Austria-Hungary and France, still building battleships. Probably at this stage, everyone should just be upgrading to dreadnoughts. We're pretty far behind in heavy cruisers. I think I'm going to wait a little bit before we get another design, though, because I'm happy with the Pamiatova. And I don't think it's worth it to actually upgrade that design. Build a new design. Neither is it worthwhile to build more of those since they are pretty dated. So we're in that weird zone, that middle ground, when you're not quite old enough to get a new design, but you're not quite new enough to build the same one, more of the same one. Really behind? No, actually we're doing okay with light cruisers, but I feel behind in light cruisers just from the quality. I was very disappointed by the Vesta's performance. I mean, the Chateau Renault was just pummeling us. And okay, yeah, destroyers, that's something we can talk about another time. Because I don't like destroyers. Alright, what else do we have going on here? I kind of want to see what kind of designs we're up against right now. Let's just take Great Britain as the... Okay, they have 20,000 tons. They are building a 23,000 ton. Can we take a look at this thing? Yeah, okay. 17 knots, 12 11-inch guns. Wow, this is a very strange design. 11-inch belt, though, that's pretty good. It says speed is 18 here. So, we're not sure which one. I mean, our intelligence is not perfect. You know what, let's just kind of cycle through all the ships. So we have our 23,000 ton ship, which is good. Oh, Great Britain has actually completed those two already. Wow, that is early. Can we see it all? These? No. Okay. And they have one with 12-inch guns, probably. Although this is hardly a dreadnought, this is still the same 2-gun configuration. Alright, next turn. Okay, yeah, by all means. We don't mind giving Japanese oil firing because, especially, our suspicion is if we go to war with Japan, we will crush them. So this is just stealing candy from a baby. It might also be a good idea to get a few more guns. I don't know if we should get them more in the Baltic or do we need any guns in Northeast Asia? Where would it be reasonable to build them? Are we likely to get this far deep to actually need the Liaotong Peninsula? I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get as high as Sakhalin either. Like, Southern Korea is like a prime example of a good place to build stuff. Even just the Japan island, you can build stuff. It's in the middle. You expect engagements around there, but I don't expect an engagement this deep. Unless it's a surprise attack. They could surprise attack that port. But I think it's wasting too much. One of the guys on, I'm not sure who it was. I think maybe, was it Director or CBR? I forget. One of the guys on the forum has a mod which makes the naval guns more effective. The land guns, more effective. The coastal fortifications. I think I'm going to use that in my next playthrough because I think that land forts, in my opinion, they should be better. They're anchored to the ground. They should have better stability. The one disadvantage, obviously, is that they're immobile. So it should be easier to target them as well. Just a couple more months and then we're done. We won't have the ability to push on with our funds anymore. Still 2 more years before these dreadnoughts finish. Quite a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it. We're in enough of a fix that this is the difference between one more turn and not. And certainly after this turn, we're gonna have to put a pause on some of our dreadnoughts because of funding issues. Oh, still at 8. So let's pause the Pobeda. Just preemptively, because we know that it's only going to save us 2.5 million, so it looks like we still can't get out 2 more turns. Oh wow, improved national resources. Is that going to increase? Oh, right in time. And actually it gave us a little bit into our funds as well. Destroyer screens. Okay, I don't really use destroyers, but the one thing I also saw in there, if I remember, this has been delayed. I can't remember. There was another event in there I was going to comment on, but I forgot. So, oh well. Another turn. Man, our scientists are baffled by everything. Come on, Russia. Let's go, people. Alright, well, let's go back and halt the Gangut. And that should be enough savings for us for, well, at least 2 more turns, 2 more months. Yes, we're going to do it. I know that it's bad because we have negative money. We can solve that. Okay, we're down to... Okay, fine, I have to pause the Vladivostok as well. Okay, 3-inch guns of quality 1. We have 3-inch quality 0. But we don't use 3-inch guns on anybody. Except for maybe our minesweepers. But we already refit them. I'm still going to do it. I hate to turn down a gun. Especially when you're Russia, I feel like you should take this because your technology is going to be so backwards. You might even try to orient the entire new destroyer line based on these 3-inch guns. And so far we've been getting away with having a negative funds. I'm not sure how much longer, but... So if we push for an international force, I'm worried that we'll lose our... I mean, I'm a little worried about any kind of international meeting to put, you know, like a disarmament treaty conference. They're not going to back down. I don't know how this works exactly. I don't think that they back down just if we try. This one increases tension, and this one has no effect. Roads. I don't think we care about roads. I mean, it's not in our sea zone, so let's just push for an international force. Oh, interesting. I can't remember. I mean, look at... When you're on camera, this is always embarrassing, but roads is... Yeah, okay, it is. It is here. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we really could use 4 centerline turrets. That would be very important. Okay, we're finally positive enough that I think we can unpause one of ours. We can almost unpause another one. There it is, 4 centerline turrets. Very nice. We really need to understand torpedo aiming system. That would be extremely effective. Wow, it looks like we're really close to getting a few breakthroughs, which is really important. Okay, yeah, we'll take everything. Just enough money, good. Explosive sweeps, not very important. Also not very important. Anti-submarine nets. Okay, I mean, we should not like completely disregard anti-submarine warfare because other nations are still building submarines, even if we are not. And we will always buy fire control stuff. Okay, they're still close to mastering, but have not yet mastered. Bigger torpedoes. There's the anti-submarine nets. Okay, that should be helpful. We had torpedo aiming system, not very important, but I think we have now finally the monthly balance that we can pull off. We can get the Gangut back under construction. The Retvizon itself is only 1 year away, so that's good. Prestige and tension down? No. I think we'll stick with the prestige up. And I do not mind going to war with Austria-Hungary. Okay, wow, everyone is stealing industrial secrets from us. I don't know how. I mean, we don't have any industrial secrets to give them. Our navy is quite backwards. Yeah, I think we'll send forces to China, although that's going to count in Southeast Asia, which is not good. Let's just take a look at the possibilities here. So this is going to be prestige and tension. Nothing from the middle one. And this is tension down. Well, let's go for prestige. Did it do anything, or is this one that has a distant effect? Yeah, actually China does have, well, none of these are, we can't own any of these. So just free prestige, which is, I mean, I'm completely okay with that. You know, with the docks the way it is, I kind of want to build a new dock. So let's get another dock going. Yeah, we'll take the diesel engines for sure. Ah, that's submarines. I mean, whatever. It makes sense. Diesel engines for submarines, of course. Diesel electric is the ultimate, but... Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to pause once again. Looks like the Gangut. On again, off again. I feel bad. We're just toying with them. Okay, we also need this. This is going to be a huge improvement. If we had the money, now would be the perfect time to design a new light cruiser. But we absolutely need that technology. Absolutely. Now we can put our light cruisers, they won't have that protected light cruiser configuration. So that's going to be helpful. Which means we're just going to be retiring the Vesta soon enough. In fact, it looks like the Vesta is waiting for us to upgrade it. Yeah, we'll be retiring the Flores. No. It is the Vesta. Yeah. So it is time for you guys to upgrade. Let's open design for rebuild. Do we need to do any changes here? No, I mean, not really. Central firing, we still have enough weight remaining that we're okay. And nothing else needs to happen. I don't think we own mines. So, wait, we did get mines, huh? No, we have not researched mine rails. Yeah. But this is a very good ship. Okay, well, it has the protected cruiser configuration, which means armor is a little easier to penetrate compared to the other ones. It's not a terrible ship. I can't remember what was the problem with it. Oh, the fact that we had deck of 2 inches. That was a mistake. I think I would take that back if I had a chance. But we don't. Okay, do this again. And just get all of the Vesta classes to rebuild. Why not? From -7 to -7. Okay, I guess no change. Our destroyers are a little bit outdated. They're all pretty good. They were elite. Now I guess they're just down to good. We'll at least give them the courtesy of rebuilding them, but I don't think we're going to be doing anything here. So just save and immediately spit them back out. Yeah, I was looking at funds. I forgot to look at monthly balance. I think the monthly balance did for sure go down when we did the refit of all those Vestas. Okay. Now push on one more turn. I think then we'll just call this episode to a close. Oh, triple turrets. Beautiful. That would have been really, really nice when we were building our dreadnoughts, but when we have our battle cruisers going, we'll definitely get triple turret battle cruisers. Okay, well, I'm going to go one more turn. Alright, well, I'll pause it, call this video to a close here. Very surprising to me, the end of the French War. A little anticlimactic, unfortunately. Would have preferred a more glorious victory for the Russian people, but it wasn't to be this time. Looking forward, I guess the next thing we're going to be doing is a light cruiser, and then after that, either a battle cruiser or a heavy cruiser. I'm not sure which one quite yet. We might not even build another heavy cruiser if we don't build it next, so that's yet to be determined, but we'll figure that all out in the next episode or in the future episodes. Until then, thanks for watching and take care.